Welcome to our fourth annual Smart Cities Summit. Thank you to everyone who is joining us both in person and online today. My name is Katarzyna Sliwa. I'm a partner with Dentons, and I lead our municipal land use planning and development law group in the Toronto office. I'm also co-lead nationally for our real estate group, and I'm co-chair for Dentons Smart Cities globally and chair for the Canada region. Today, our panelists will be discussing various topics, including how data governance and digital maturity can help build a foundation for responsible smart cities, balancing innovation and legal protection, smart density and innovative approaches to achieving density in complete communities, and municipal-sponsored digital access strategies. Before we get started, I wanted to share with you the Dentons definition for smart cities to help us sort of orient some of the discussion today. And then I will have some housekeeping notes to bore you with. Sorry about that. So in terms of the definition, a smart city modernizes digital, physical, and social infrastructure and integrates all essential services for the benefits of its citizens by harnessing advances in sustainable technology to make delivery of these services more efficient, useful, innovative, and equitable. It begins with the particular needs and goals of the city or community, and then aims to address those needs through things such as advanced data analytics and efficient, coordinated implementation of advanced telecommunications, sensor and camera technology, traffic control, LED street lighting, deployment of electric and autonomous vehicles, smart healthcare services, smart buildings, and so many other technologies and services. Before I pass it off to my colleague Clint for his customary opening remarks, now I'm pleased to once again this year introduce my partner from our Washington office, Clint. Clint is the chair of the Dentons U.S. Energy Practice and co-chair of Dentons Global Energy Sector. Clint is rated as one of the leading energy lawyers in the US and has directed the expansion of the US energy team into the premier practice that it is today. It includes professionals spanning across the continent from coast to coast, offering a full range of services to energy industry clients. He is widely recognized for his cutting-edge theories and solutions within the energy sector and industry and has a top-tier litigation track record. Clint is the founder of the Dentons Smart Cities and Connected Communities think tank. He is co-chair globally of the think tank, and he is one of the industry leaders on this subject. And I'm thrilled that we've had Clint's support with our summit every year. So please join me in welcoming Clint.
Thank you so much, Kat, and hello, Smart Cities Canada. This is the fourth year of this summit, and we have certainly had 4 incredibly turbulent years for our cities and communities across the globe. I thought I'd take just a couple of minutes and give you a succession of the issues we've been facing as these summits have developed each year, and then wrap up covering 10 megatrends that are coming at us and will have a profound impact on our cities and communities. So when I spoke at the first summit in 2020, I talked about the 4 C's, which were COVID, climate, cyber, and crisis in terms of political, economic, and social disruption and imbalance. Those 4 C's actually intensified over the next year. So in the 2021 summit, we focus on the need to double down on resilience in order to try to cope with the incredible volatility that we had been facing. The word resilience was the most repeated word in our summit that year and also in our monthly roundtables with the global think tank for all of 22 and continuing. It's still a central theme for smart cities and communities. Then in 2022, we had the Putin's brutal invasion of Ukraine, and that created a shock to our system of globalization and really, without time for much of a transition, projected us into a very jagged transformation into geopolitics around the world, particularly with Russia, but also concurrently for other reasons with China. Um, at that summit, we focused on the energy crisis, which had already begun, but was significantly intensified as a result of Putin's invasion and also the energy warfare that he introduced in Europe and beyond. We also were dealing with severe supply chain issues, global inflation in large part caused by the energy crisis. And of course, climate and turbulent weather was gaining increased attention. The IPCC put out a very jarring report about how far behind the globe is on decarbonization. We also importantly examined the continued urban migration and the need for more rapid modernization of infrastructure in our cities and communities. Kat just read the definition that our think tank created about 6 years ago. We felt that that describing smart cities as simply a tech play, which is how the term was founded, was inadequate for current times, and that we really needed to focus on grid and infrastructure modernization across the board, as Kat outlined in a really good way. We also recognized that if you recall Kat's definition, it included not just digital technological change, but also and physical, but very importantly, social infrastructure, governance, policies, institutions of civil society that are actually way behind the incredible geometric advance in technological change and innovation. So this past year, we focused a lot on social infrastructure and in addition technologies. So we looked at issues of equity and inclusion, social justice and governance, the impacts of technological and systemic change, and we've taken a very serious look at AI. It has terrific possibilities for smart cities and communities, but also needs some social infrastructure development to deal with threats that come along with it. We also focused in our roundtables on the significant deficit in trust in leadership at the national level, but the fact that subdivisions like cities and communities seem to be able to make more headway. And we also focused on ESG, cybersecurity, advances in mobility and autonomous vehicles, hydrogen as a new fuel source, clean tech. And in the US, we spent a lot of analytical time on the incredible impact that this massive infusion of money for investment in infrastructure has arrived with the bipartisan infrastructure law, the Inflation Reduction Act, and the Chips and Sciences Act in the US. This year, our global think tank is really focusing more carefully than we ever have before on some of the mega trends that are going to impact us in our daily lives. And we have reasonable people can differ as to what the mega trends are. We selected 10 and we vetted them with the several think tanks, the Center for Strategic and International Studies, the World Resources Institute, and the Keystone Policy Center. They all gave us a thumbs up. So I will give you a quick run through on the mega trends and then turn it back over to Kat. The first, of course, is population change. But within that broad category, our focus has been on two dramatic demographic changes. One is at both ends of the spectrum. One is the tremendous percentage of youth now in our global population. And second, our aging societies. There are now going to be more than 1 billion people over the age of 65 by 2030. Both of those demographics have very profound implications for our smart cities work. The second mega trend, which we've talked about a lot, is the urban migration. Unfortunately, it continues to outpace infrastructure modernization, which makes summits like these all the more important. Climate change, this has been the hottest year on record. And not surprisingly, we've had a lot more extreme weather, droughts, floods, more turbulent weather, hurricanes, wildfires. I don't need to explain wildfires to Canada. We're also way behind on addressing climate change in a systemic way where we can catapult forward at the rate of change that's going to be needed to prevent a continued deterioration of our planet. The fourth mega trend we've added this year is water scarcity. And this is also becoming a really serious issue. A lot of cities now will continuously face serious water shortage going forward. Fifth mega trend, food scarcity. And that is one we have only just begun our analysis on with our think tank, but there's a lot of good work on it. Going back to water scarcity, I should mention that the World Resources Institute just put out one of the best studies that I've seen on water scarcity under their aqueduct program. It was just released. And if you are interested in that subject, it's a wealth of information. The sixth mega trend is growing inequality. Inequalities increasing, not improving, which is the case globally, and it's leading and will continue to lead to a lot of social disruption and suffering. The seventh mega trend has achieved the word transparency, which is really a very polite or euphemistic term for the loss of privacy that's coming as we progress with IA and other technologies. It's a tremendous amount of information now that is becoming known about individuals and organizations. So lots of room for social infrastructure development on that subject as well. The eighth mega trend, I think this summit will really zero in on, and that is the geometric increase in technological development, and including AI, as I've mentioned. The ninth mega trend is, unfortunately, is continued geopolitical instability. We have not just the invasion of Ukraine, China's increased autocracy, but now all of a sudden we have Hamas invading Israel and lots of disruptive implications for the Middle East, regrettably. And then last is cyber. And that threat is only increasing, although it looks like we are at least spending a lot more time working on it and developing safeguards than certainly than 4 years ago when we began these summits. So these are some of the opportunities and also challenges and they highlight just how essential these summits are to tackle these critical issues. And since I'm a natural optimist, I know that Kat will now lead you on a good path toward addressing some of these points. So Kat, back to you, and wonderful to be with you again.
I'm going to move on now and welcome our colleague from Arcadis here in the building, Rahul Mehra. Rahul, thank you, is Director of Intelligent Systems at Arcadis. He is a registered professional planner in the province of Ontario for 20 plus years. He joined Arcadis, formerly IBI Group, upon graduation and has built an extensive background in revenue systems. Rahul manages the broad scope of these projects from design through implementation and into the ongoing operation and maintenance of systems. Rahul also leads the Smart City Sandbox initiative, which brings together public and private sector companies in the prop tech and smart cities community sector, encouraging innovation and collaboration for cities across the globe. You'll have an opportunity for those who haven't seen it yet to visit the Smart City Sandbox space during the reception this afternoon. It's where we started our day earlier today. Welcome, Rahul.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Katarzyna. And a correction there, I'm a professional engineer, not a planner. Very important, especially in a group of lawyers. So I'm thrilled to welcome you today to this year's annual Smart City Summit. It's a fantastic experience continuing our partnership with Dentons. It's fantastic to see so many familiar faces as well as many new faces. So you're now exploring this summit for the first time for some of you, and I think you're going to really enjoy it. For us as IBI Group, this year has been a whirlwind of activities, and really it's because we've transitioned away from IBI and now to the Arcadis family. We were acquired by Arcadis last year. It's been about a year and a month or so, and we've been busy integrating our teams. And I'm delighted to share that one of the things that's progressed in that integration is we've created a global business area within Arcadis that's dedicated to intelligent systems, really from the incredible work that IBI had done in that space. Our mission remains the same: planning, designing, implementing, and operating systems that make a real difference for our clients and our communities. Now with Arcadis, we have more global experience and expertise to help tackle local challenges and initiatives with a global mindset. Smart cities and communities are a big part of what we do, and we continue working with Sandbox partners and our clients to shape the future of our cities. Our goal is to help bring clarity to the noise. As Clint highlighted, cities and communities are faced with numerous problems and opportunities. While ensuring people remain safe, the environment is protected, and costs are managed. These are important principles to be followed. And we're here to help find a path that is right for you and your community. Our Sandbox spaces here and on the 4th floor, the insightful discussions we'll have today, and the relationships we'll build all come together in what the Sandbox goals and objectives are all about. We share a common passion for making our world more resilient. So enjoy the day, and let's keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible in building smarter and more connected communities. Again, welcome, and let's make this summit an unforgettable experience. Thank you.
Thank you, Rahul, and apologies for that. I obviously knew Rahul is a professional engineer, and that was a Freudian slip. We're preparing for about 8 Ontario Land Tribunal hearings currently, and if it's at all indicative of the state of things, the majority of the hearings are challenged with engineering evidence and servicing, but the professional planners are typically our star witnesses, so I apologize for that, Rahul.